Hey guys, it's Tiffany Riley. So, I rarely do any story times, but I'm gonna go ahead and do a story time. Trigger warning, this actually mentions abuse, so if you're easily triggered, please do not watch this video. Many of you know I recently quit my job at Subway. Well, I thought, it was my first job, my first actual paying job, and I thought I would like it, which I did for about 2 days, maybe 3, but it started going downhill. I started to notice that my boss, not my manager, but my boss, the franchise owner, started being really controlling and abusive towards me. I started to get really bad panic attacks whenever he asked me a question or just shouted at me. Like, I was starting to get really bad panic attacks. And I remember it got to the point one time where he was yelling at me for not doing something right. I almost went into a shock. And I remember I was just making sandwiches so damn fast. One of the customers were like, "Slow down. Don't be so anxious." The customer knew that I was literally rushing, going so fast at making her sandwich. She literally told me to slow down and don't be anxious. When clearly my boss, which clearly the franchise owner, was right there, knowing that he was watching me, my every freaking move. A lot of people are gonna probably watch this and say, "Oh, that's what he's supposed to do," and all this other shit. I thought the same thing before I worked at Subway. I thought the same thing. I thought he was, when I first worked there, I thought he was encouraging and, he motivates his staff. Nope. Anyway, when I thought that the franchise owner was cool and encouraging and all this other positive stuff, it quickly turned and he became really abusive and very controlling. He actually threatened to fire me on my 6th day. He said to me, "This job may not be for you. I can take you off the schedule." At that point, I was literally trying to get through that week. I was trying to see if I could make it and everything. Of course, I was busting tables and just, kind of wiping them down. And I was trying to tell myself I can get through this. I can get through the week. I remember just going back into the kitchen and putting the bucket down. And I told myself, there's no way I'm going to be able to make it through the rest of this week without crying. So I left. I didn't tell anyone. I just clocked out and just walked out. I didn't want to speak to anyone. I didn't want to have anything to do with anyone at all. I had texted my manager that day, about 2 hours later, told her I was quitting. She said, "Are you sure?" And of course I said yes. Now, my manager was really sweet. She literally encouraged the entire staff, including me. She made us laugh. She encouraged us, and when our main boss is there, the franchise owner, it's like all goes downhill. It's like he wants to be so controlling over everyone. And that is not how a leader should, that's not what a leader should be. I mean, a leader has to be encouraging, and they have to encourage others, Anyway, that's why I quit, because because the franchise owner threatened to fire me, so I decided to quit before he could. I went there today. He was very, very controlling, very abusive, and just not in the right. He thinks he was in the right, but he wasn't. And I think that's why I now realize that why I went through this hard-ass battle with Sammy. Because what I did to a lot of people is actually what the franchise owner is doing to me. I think that's why I say I admit that I was in the wrong, or I admit that I wasn't always in the right. So that I could help someone who is in the same position that I was in. So when I got home earlier today, I texted him and said, you are not always in the right. And I blocked his number. And of course I said a couple of things, stood up for myself basically. And last thing I said was, you're not always right. And that's when I blocked his number. Not only that, he threw my uniform away, for which I paid $20 for. Non-refundable. Paid $20, threw my uniform away. I don't want to blame Subway, because I know that that it's not their fault. I mean, I'm trying not to hate on them at all. I mean, I love Subway, but it's, with the experiences that I've had there as an employee, no. Subway, please choose your employee, especially the franchise owners, wisely, because as a former employee, I did not feel very comfortable with the franchise owner at all. I felt like I was being attacked. I felt like I was being abused. I felt like I was being controlled. Please choose your franchise owners wisely, Subway. Because there are people out there like me who have been abused, who have been sexually harassed. Please do something to protect both your employees and your customers from this happening. Because I would hate for anyone to take a franchise owner to court and say, oh, this person sexually harassed me and everything. I don't want that to happen. So that's exactly why I'm speaking out on behalf of anyone who not only works at Subway, but any place, that feels like they're being abused and controlled and sexually harassed and everything. Subway, please do better. Please choose your employees wisely, especially the franchise owners. I hope what I said made sense to everyone. Please talk to someone if you are going through a difficult time. If you are currently experiencing abuse, please reach out for help. There are people out there who want to help. So, yeah. You can always call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. All the lifelines will be in the description below. Please stay strong. Know that you are worthy, you are beautiful, you are loved.